Good news from elsewhere. Certainly, La Liga back tomorrow. Tebas spoke over the weekend. Well, Tebas speaks continuously. I almost wonder if there's several Tebases. One of them that actually sits at home and does work, and maybe another one walks the dog, and the third Tebas just talks all the time. So one of the things that we learned, Jules, is that they're going to play games every single day. Kickoffs are going to be 6 o'clock and 7:30 local during the week, 7:30 and 11 p.m. weekends. That's kind of cool. But you know what? Look, I don't blame them for playing at that time because it's freaking hot in Spain, yeah?
Yeah, but that is freestyling. That is proper freestyling. That's Tebas saying, do you know what? No one can say no to me in those circumstances. I can do pretty much anything I want. I want to play at 11 because that works well, I don't know, let's say for China, for the US market, for whatever market. Let's go. No one is going to say, oh, we've got an issue like they would do on a normal season, if you want. So good on him for trying stuff, do things differently. Game every day. I'll wait and see if that really happens, but I'm all for it, to be fair.
Like he says, as long as there's 72 hours between games, then we're good. So he's very bullish. In Serie A, we're making little baby steps on the protocol. One of the, as you'll recall, there were three key issues that they needed to sort out. One was the idea of players being made to quarantine at the training ground for 2 weeks before you could start playing with full contact. That thankfully seems to be going out the window. They're saying, look, in Spain, they let these guys go and sleep at home. Why can't we go and do the same? Another big issue that's come up, and look, I'm not a lawyer, but I hope they're going to reach an agreement here, has to do with the liability of the actual sports doctors.
Which is a big issue in every league. It's not just in Italy. It's the same in England as well.
Yeah, I know. But in Italy, we got more lawyers and other creepy guys who go around and try to make a buck off of the working man, which is kind of what most of these guys do. And again, I don't say this. I don't hate all lawyers. Just, I'm not a big fan of the law as a principle. And people who try to make money and unfairly manipulate it, I like them even less. But there are some good sports lawyers. Daniel G is one. And
yeah, of course. Our boy, yeah.
Trying to think of others. Like, they're not coming to me. Maybe there are other good lawyers out there. I'm sure there are. There must be, right? There's so many of them. But the third big issue, and this is, I think, where things are going to stand or fall, is the usual issue of somebody tests positive. What do you do with them? Do you quarantine the whole team or not? They're still discussing. Hopefully this week we'll have some more answers in that regard.
Good news at the weekend is Aleksander Čeferin, our friends from UEFA, the UEFA President, coming out and saying that European football will come back in August, and as 80% of the competitions remaining should be played, at least, he said. So that's very positive as well, if he's optimistic.
Yeah, but
we need him optimistic.
Okay, look, I don't blame Čeferin because the situation keeps changing and he has very little control over it. That 80%, I mean, that's finger in the air stuff. And he'd be the first to admit it, But I think what it does show is there's a willingness to go and finish this and wrap this up. And the UEFA have really bent over backwards for their member nations, which is what they should do as an organizing body. I just hope that, and I've said this before, that between them and FIFA, they have their differences, but that they can actually work together, because this is a key time. Maybe while you're sitting there trying to figure out, Euro 2020, which will be played in 2021, and the host nations and whatever, and while you're watching the evolution of the situation, build some bridges, because this is still an emergency situation for football. And I say that to Čeferin, like I say to Gianni Infantino at the other end. This is not a time to go and argue, and hopefully they'll continue putting these things to one side.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.